Hi guys, you've been asking for more one-day builds. So me and Bogdan are gonna have a one-day build-off to motorize these drift trikes and then have a race. And to do so, we've actually teamed up with Lithelli Tools, which makes awesome landscaping lithium-ion power tools. These leaf blowers are gonna be awesome.
Especially considering they're lithium powered.
So a few months ago, Lithelli Tools sent us their entire line of lithium-ion power tools. Now, while the tools are great at landscaping, we're not a landscaping company. We're gonna hack them together and use the motors to motorize these drift trikes. Plus, they sent us so many batteries, we'll be able to race nonstop. All right, so Bogdan, we're gonna do a one-day build-off and motorize some drift trikes and then race them. Lithelli sent us all these tools, so what tools do you want?
All right, well, my favorite tool is an angle grinder, so I am taking the chainsaws.
Yeah, a chainsaw is basically an angle grinder. And you guys know that I have a certain affinity to anything jet powered, so I'm totally going with all these leaf blowers to power my drift trike.
I know exactly what he's gonna do.
These leaf blowers are gonna be awesome. My plan is I'm gonna mount all 3 leaf blowers off of the back of the drift trike, which will give me a boost when I'm pedaling. But to make it more interesting, I'm gonna give it a drifting ability. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them all on a pivot, so when you turn the steering wheel, it actually turns the leaf blowers opposite to the direction you're turning to put you into that drift. So hypothetically, this means anytime you turn, it's gonna drift. Hopefully it works.
So the reason that I actually chose the chainsaws is because they're gonna have a lot of torque, especially considering they're lithium powered. Hey James, hey, guess who's got the superior weapon now?
What is that? We're not building
The superior weapon.
That's the chainsaw paddle from Dead Rising.
Exactly.
We're building drift trikes.
That's way less fun.
Before we get started, we should actually find out how much thrust these leaf blowers actually put out. So I've tared the scale, and now I'm holding the leaf blower, and hypothetically, if I shoot it downwards, I should produce about 2 pounds of thrust. So that's really not that much, but it's a good thing I got 3, which will be a whopping 6 pounds of thrust. That's really not that much, but I think it's gonna work. It's my toolbox. Get away. We don't need these parts. There, we're done. So I need to build a little platform to mount all 3 of these two that can also swivel. Each leaf blower needs to swivel on the plate. Need baby lazy Susans. Field trip to Rona.
And the nice thing with chainsaws is that they actually have a pinion on the end to run the chain. So I'm hoping that we can have some kind of chain to replace this and then just make the back wheels chain drive. Get a nice powerful motor going. Chain. Okay, you gotta put his bike back so he doesn't even know we were here. We get paint? Why do they need paint?
Wait, this is for something else. We need casters. So they didn't have the lazy Susans, but when I was in Rona, I thought, what if we just use casters and remove the wheel? And luckily, we have casters. No good, no good. This could work because we could bend these down, screw them on, and then, yeah. Step 1, remove the nuts. Step 2, we must remove the wheels. There we go. So, the question is, how do we uniformly bend these nicely without messing everything up? Now I just have to do that twice more. All right, so I've got my swivelly caster wheel bearings done, which means all I have to do is mount them. Look at that, one securely mounted swivelly boy.
All right, so we got 2 actual sets of sprockets for a go-kart. Wait, where's half our sprockets? Did they take half our sprockets? Where's my wheel? What? Where's my wheel? Where the hell did he put my wheel? Oh my God, James. We just need to mount that right there. Okay, so that's how this is supposed to go. If I can just machine out the center of this, then I should be able to basically take that, weld that right on there, put a C-clip on there. Okay, I need to go machine that out to fit this. So now I got a sprocket here, just machined out that. A couple of welds right around there. see if they fit. Ooh, it's a really good fit.
All right, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm actually going to add in an extra switch line to each of these that comes outside of it that I can then plug in to one master switch. So with the press of one button, I can turn on all 3 leaf blowers. So let's solder those up. All right, there's one done, on to the next one. To turn on the drift track, all we gotta do is plug in these 3 wires into the 3 leaf blowers, and then you put this in your mouth, and as long as you touch your tongue between the 2 contacts, you'll go. Oh, there's voltage going through it. So these things have a safety trigger to make sure you're actually meaning to turn it on, or if you're just gonna zip tie it shut. There we go, now turns on. Okay, my engine modules are complete. Hey Bogdan, look at my engine modules. Hey, look at that hair.
All right, so we got this one, which is a 62. Hopefully fits inside the wheel without the chain scraping the floor. That would be pretty unfortunate. And then we got this 58. Let's go model these up. Throw the wheel into there, make some brackets, and mount everything together. Go cut 2 of these out on the plasma cutter. Not the shiniest pieces I've made, but I think they'll hold up. So we're gonna need some spacers, we need some screws of that size. Make sure that everything aligns nicely. And if one works, then we can go make the second one. Otherwise, we gotta change the design. James, stop touching my stuff! Oh my God! I don't even wanna walk away from my workbench just because I'm gonna come back to half my tools missing. Both of them are missing! Oh my God! Where'd you, I saw you at, I know it's somewhere here. Oh my God.
Try all 3 at once. It works! Ha ha ha! Fantastic, on to next step. We're gonna get rid of this. This is in the way. So, I wanna keep it DIY, so we should go with wood.
So we got this metal bracket on the side now. We should be able to mount our gears onto that. All right, that's one wheel. Chain fits pretty well. Should be able to spin that nicely. Now let's hope it fits onto the bike. Pretty wobbly there, but it's a drift trike. It should be fine.
So, all we have to do now is drill 3 holes. Let's mount those like that. Then, all we have to do is make a linkage bar across them, and we're pretty well good to go.
All right, well, James is back working. They seem to have the electronics done, but you know what? Their design is flawed from the start, so I'm not too worried. Still drives. Let's get the chains on there. I don't know what I was thinking when I touched this.
Getting so close. Starting to take shape. Look at that. Look at that. Dun, dun, dun. Moment of truth.
Should be able to mount this right here. Just gonna cut that off. I mean, if I was James, I'd just clamp it there and call that done. And that. Now that that's done, let's put it all back together and see if we can drive this thing.
I can't believe this works. So I just need a little toggle switch to the soldering room. And mounts this to this. Ta-da! Ready to go.
Okay. Whee! This isn't even my final form! All right, I think we need both of them on here. Okay, so I think we're gonna use these. So if I'm drifting, I can just turn one on and then you turn the other one on, or turn both. I got a switch hooked up for the handle controls, so we should be able to just power it up and see if they spin and then give it a test drive.
All right, it's done. Let's see what she can do.
All right, I call that a success. Let's mount these. That's it. Race tomorrow.
Now that's pretty epic, but not as epic as our Patreon supporters and YouTube members who help ensure we can continue making these awesome projects for you. Did you know YouTube members and Patreon supporters get access to our videos early? Plus, our supporters also get access to most of our CAD designs, get access to private channels in our Discord server, get a weekly newsletter about what's going on at Hacksmith Industries, get to vote on new projects, get exclusive invites to events at Hacksmith Industries, and more. Big thank you to all our latest YouTube members and Patreon supporters. It's thanks to people like you who help ensure we can keep making these awesome videos for the world to enjoy. That worked out way better than I thought it would. The leaf blowers were definitely the superior choice in this drift trike race-off, and I really liked how I had this linkage that actually helps redirect the thrust as you're steering. And when I was racing, it did actually help, because when I was coming out of a drift, I could actually straighten up, and these would help me stop drifting and continue going forwards. The other beauty was, because they're leaf blowers, basically the faster you go, it keeps adding on, because it's a constant, about 3 newtons of force, thrust coming out the back. So I was able to continue accelerating, whereas Bogdan kind of hit like a top speed, and that's why I was able to almost lap him by the end of the race.
Well, I'm obviously a little upset that I didn't win. I definitely think that this design had the potential to do that. I'm quite happy with how the chains turned out. I think that the ratios are pretty decent, and the tension on the chain actually turned out really, really well, and it's all very solid. Unfortunately, these chainsaws, they're designed to spin a chain at high speeds, and even with the gearing ratios, they were really, really stressing themselves out when I was going in turns or trying to go a little slower, because the clutch was slipping. So if I was to fix the design or make any future modifications, I'd definitely lock that clutch out. It would draw a little more power from the motor, but I think the Lithelli power tools could handle it, and it would hopefully give me a little bit more power in those slow speeds and allow me to get up to speed a little quicker.
Alright, so that was an awesome one-day hackathon competition. If you guys like this, let us know in the comments below. It was a lot of fun, and I think we could have a lot more fun if we did it with more of the team members and more of the engineers on a future video. So let us know in the comments if you want to see that. And once again, big thank you to Lithelli Tools for sending us all these awesome power tools. Plus, you can get 15% off their tools and a free USB adapter if you click the link below. These tools are Hacksmith approved. Now, it's time to take it to the road.
Even though James won the race, I've spent some time modifying my design and welding the clutches together to show the true power of the Lithelli tools. And the nice thing is we've got an extra one, so I can put it on James's bike and have a fair race.